Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. This is number 3 in my Sweet Summer Treats series, where I'm making ice cream shop summer decor DIYs. I'll be using wood items for the What Would You Make open playlist. I'll be making a decorative wood book stack, a wood bead garland, and a wooden sign. My first DIY is going to be the book stack. I'm using apple barrel acrylic paint on a foam brush, and I'm painting up one of these Dollar Tree wooden crates, all 4 sides. I've seen a couple of these miniature book stacks on Pinterest, and I'm going to use those as inspiration to make my own design. For the strawberry ice cream color, I'm using Folk Art in baby pink, and I'm painting that bottom stripe on the crate. The top stripe on that crate I'm painting in a chocolate color apple barrel territorial beige. The vanilla color in the middle I mixed white and sun-kissed peach to give it a more natural look instead of being stark white. And I'll mention here that all the DIYs I'm doing in this series are centered around chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. You can most definitely do it in your favorite flavors or colors. Once I was sure all those colors were dry, I come in with my white paint marker, and I'm just defining those lines in between the flavors of the ice cream just to make that vanilla stand out a little more. Going in the crate will be these Dollar Tree bubbles that are in containers shaped like ice cream cones, but they don't look natural at all, so I'm going to do a little bit of a makeover on those. Widthwise, these ice cream cones fit perfectly in the crate, but I do want to raise them up a little bit so the cone part shows. If you don't put it on something else, it's only the swirls of the ice cream showing. So here I'm doing the makeover. I'm adding sun-kissed peach on a stencil brush and dry brushing it over the cone. It's just taking out some of that shine and cartoony look away. And I'm going to fix those swirls of ice cream also. I'm painting with the same colors that I used on the wood crate. To raise those ice cream cones in the crate, I'm going to use some of these foam blocks from Dollar Tree, and one of them has to be cut down because it wasn't quite wide enough to fit the 3 cubes. So we're going to go with 2.5 here, and I'm just using my little Dollar Tree hacksaw to cut that apart, and it works out great. Now I'm going to glue those blocks into place. I'm putting the hot glue, and this is just regular hot glue in my gun. I think it's from Walmart. I'm putting a generous amount on the bottom and the front side so that I can stick those down securely. And then I'll put those ice cream cones in. I'm not going quite all the way to the front and side of the crate. I'm just backing those cones up a little bit there. Strawberry on the left, chocolate on the right, vanilla in the middle. And I forgot to mention that I painted some little drips going from the ice cream down onto the cone. I should have done this before I put the cones in. I kind of put the cart before the horse. But anyway, I'm taking a dark pink paint marker and I'm writing out on the faux books, "What's the scoop?" A decal from the Cricut would be much better here than my handwriting, but you know, it's kind of a bit endearing, almost like a child wrote it for the ice cream shop. Yeah, we'll go with that. I meant to do it that way. I'm going to wrap some dark pink ribbon around those, and I want it to look like it's going all the way around the book stack. I put a bow on top of that, some Dollar Tree rocks in the back, just in case the ice cream cones have a little weight to them from not pouring out the bubbles. Then I added some brown paper packing stuff on there, and that's how it turned out. I'm pretty proud of this. Originally, I had the thought of putting some flowers back behind those cones, but after I got the paper in, I liked it just like it is. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is part of a monthly collab called What Would You Make? This is hosted every month by ZANA from OK at Home DIY and Connie of Connie's Creative Creations. Our guest host this month is David of David Owen Creates. I'll have links to all their channels in the descriptions, as well as a link to this month's playlist, so be sure to check those out once you're finished here. I have some wood beads that I painted but never used in the spring because they were blotchy. The paint just didn't adhere well to those, but I kept them and I'm going to use them here. I thought if they're going to look blotchy, make them look like ice cream scoops. So I've added the yellow color to my vanilla mixture. I picked those out to dry. For the chocolate, I'm using the lavender beads, and I just added some of the territorial beige to that vanilla mix I already had. For the strawberry, I'm using baby pink, but I'm watering it down a bit. I'm going with pink paint on top of pink, so I didn't feel like I needed a whole lot of coverage with that. So I'm just going to pop those beads in there, stir them around. You'll see how I've got the other ones drying. I just put them on a skewer, made sure they were separated so they wouldn't stick together as they dry, and I propped the skewers up on some paint bottles. To go with those beads, which are 18 millimeter, I'm going to take out some of my 20 millimeter that have already been painted white, and I'm going to string them up on this twine. It's heavier than normal twine like you get at, say, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble finding the end of that, but yeah, once I got it, I got rolling with it. I'm going to put some Mod Podge on the end so the twine doesn't fray. And I'll just string them up in the pattern that I've chosen, which is white, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and white. And I go so on and so forth till I get all those beads strung up. Once I was finished, I made sure that I had a decent amount of extra twine so I can do a tassel on one end and tie a tag onto the other end. I'm doing a tassel with this heavy twine, and I went around my hand 10 to 12 times per se, and then I'm going to tie that onto the garland first, feed that end up through the last bead, trim that off, and then I'm going to get some twine to start making my tassel there. Sorry I'm out of frame here, but I think you can get the gist of what's going on. I tie tassels differently than other people, so just do what works for you, what works best. I don't mind a few little scraggly ends on my tassel, but I did cut off some of the pieces that were way long. Here I'm putting a dab of hot glue between that last bead by the tassel and the second to last bead, so they don't come apart and my end doesn't come out that I've put in there. So now I've got this wood tag. It's actually 4 tags stacked together. I'm going to paint it with white Waverly chalk paint. And I've got a little wooden heart that I'm going to paint with the strawberry color, which is Baby Pink by Folk Art. I didn't have a lot of workspace because my partner in crafting was all up in my business, but here I'm adding that pink wooden heart, kind of catty-cornered onto that white wooden tag. And then On the back side, I'm just going to use that dark pink marker and write yum, because I couldn't think of anything else to write about ice cream. So let's get that strung together. And that is how it turned out. I think it's very pretty. Oh, you'll see I also added some little dashes on that heart to kind of look like it's stitched on. I thought it added just a little bit more oomph to the project. For my last project today, I've got an oval wooden sign that I picked up at Dollar General. It has kind of a slat appearance on it, and I've painted it with white Waverly chalk paint, and then I'm going to be putting a decal on there that I made with my Cricut. I started making little dots all over the sign to look like sprinkles, but they weren't showing up. So I'm going to take 4 of my paint markers, blue, yellow, green, pink, and I'm going to do dashes instead. I also outlined this with the dark pink, and I really just couldn't get it to ding for me. I wasn't liking it, so I used my black paint marker and went over that decal. Yes, I could have made a new decal, but I kind of wanted to see if it would work. And lo and behold, for the most part, it worked. There was a few little areas of dots that came up after it dried, but here I'm rubbing my hand across it and it's not coming off. And there is how it looks. Now I'm happy with it. About to give you an overview of all 3 projects that I did today. And I hope you liked them. If you did, let me know by leaving a thumbs up. You'll see some little stitches that I put on the heart with the dark pink marker. It added just a little more pizzazz. So overall, I'm happy with them. Be sure to check out the playlist. And until next time, bye-bye.